Hi guys, today we are visiting the top one of the world at the moment. And in fact, not only today, he is the top one of the world last March. He also finished in first place in Laterand as far as I am. I understand the February season was also in the top. Well, that is, the second place for, well, the best player at the moment in Marvel Snap. Hello Maxim, listen Maxim, in short, you already know that I asked some questions there to my subscribers on the tube, yes. On the boost here actually. I have some pool of questions that they asked accordingly naturally. Many people want to know how it all works in general, how to become a top player, how to become such a strong player like you. That's why I do not know if you will share secrets there, how to actually become a better player, but some things can you tell about. To yourself, well, the first question is just tell me about yourself, where are you from? How long have you been playing Snap at all? And in general, how has your attitude to the game changed? There was no tilt of some kind, and fatigue from the game. Well, I've been playing for a long time since the release. In principle, probably yes, there was a beta even when you played there. I didn't even know then. IRLM in the summer it came out like 2 years ago, it turns out, and Rally was already in the fall in my opinion. I was about to start playing with the release from the very first season. At first it seemed like, wow, like there's 100 is something hard, something like that, even for a long time. Alioth was afraid there, no. Although I even took the first 100 relatively quickly, then it somehow. Oh damn it's hard, every month it starts, and such a damn these cubes how can I take 100, it's scary to play. And then something went. Well, do you remember this period? It's now actually 100, it seems to me it's much easier to take it. Before there wasn't this skip of moves. Well 3 plus the rank there that they give, and it seems to me that the first year it was much more difficult to take 100 than it is now. Now every first day to take 100 its legs by the way there used to be these cubes. There's a rank, and now it's only 7 yes, and yet. And also like you starts like from the 93rd, when it jumps from the 80th. Well, like it's in general it's not so difficult to take a day, then it's more difficult to take the top one probably after well, yes. Listen Maxim, here's how much per month approximately you don't know how you keep records there. Maybe statistics their tracker use how much per month. You know, it doesn't play games at all. Because basically I play from my phone from my computer very rarely. So I don't have a tracker or a horseradish. And in principle, when I started playing with the computer for the first time, I noticed that for some reason that's when all the cards are laid out in front of me like what I have left, what kind of opponent has already played there, like, and I'm starting a damn brainstorming there, in short. Something there to twist myself more, like from some incredible moves, and according to statistics, I think I'm on the computer. I lose more than I win. Well, listen, I, on the contrary, thought that the tracker was there, and so statistics accounting is like, well, a useful thing. Some kind of analysis, that is, in principle, you don't need to analyze it as far as I noticed. Yes, I noticed that with the tracker turns off the brain, and you stop just thinking counting, and that's it. Because of this I lost a lot because like, well, you figured something out, there figured it was already like everything's fine damn, it turned out that this one didn't turn out. That it seemed like you were making such obvious mistakes, but when I play from my phone now, and here's even the same blob, yes. Like initially seemed oh damn, but something remained in my deck I'm like oh now I can already remember I'm like so what kind of cards did I have chick. I already calculated how much strength he approximately could be yesterday 26 RAL 0, low normally I had a situation today that I was counting on and know that the forehead would devour, and then it turned out that ib enemy just stole it from me, and he was to me there are such moments, well, listen, well. In continuation of this thought about your analytics, I do not know in the course of the game, yes, I'm a lot. To say an example Froome sent the fact that the second diner does it report, yeah, I played some kind of stone. More than 500 times, damn well what are you? I only played on Thanos or others their da-da-da. I only on well, no, of course I went to other decks then, lost there, got upset, and took back Thanos, and that's it. And here's some of the stones I played even 540 times, probably well. This is just getting games on Thanos here. Why do you understand the question about this number of games? Because I don't know here. I have an inner feeling that taking the top well, keeping it in the top is. It's enough to have such a big grind, that is, you still have an average number of AG cubes there that you collect there per match. And of course the more games you play, then of course you get more cubes there in total however. Naturally present. That's why the question is about this. Listen, well, I don't know for a long time. Maybe you also read Lamb there posted a post about, well, like the theory of a snap retreat and so on, here he described. What is important is exactly how to lose cubes there is better, that is, roughly speaking. A careful game here it is like this message yes, a careful game is the secret of success yes, take it where you should take it. And don't lose sob, that is, roughly speaking, if you didn't take it where you could, even though you won in the round, well, in the game. Yes, then you actually lost if you could take more in this game. There's a snap new for example, yes, that is, he has such. The message here is that you may have some, well, your feelings on snap when it's better to retreat how carefully you play. Or try to take risks to Talov, that is, in 50-50 situations, that's how you generally feel. You lead well, this is another card game that, in principle, it is random, a lot of randomness as well. Now at least a little bit of politics has somehow improved. These are the last cards that they are. They release at least not random ones, this already pleases me very much, but in general, yes. I probably had different types before, I somehow played more slow, I was more afraid now. Even according to the observation of the boys when they're in smot, like what am I? I play aggressively early firm before the turn, it's for sure I see a good alignment, the third second move, I immediately make the fifth move. I snap if I'm sure I'm there. I will punish the opponent on the sixth. See, it's stupid, it's very stupid, usually if you snash on the sixth. It's always the opponent gives up like you have goldish, they're well in rare cases, straight in some. It is necessary to play aggressively in my opinion. More snap is less to be afraid of, well, only in exceptional cases. Probably when I see directly that I have lost, I give up and retreat in other cases. I always drown to the tall, that's even. Yesterday, I say I won the game on how many cubes, I just figured out the fuck to the nose there. The guy spun through the Hulk's brother-in-law. He had more than 30 stats in the line there and he always put it later. This taskmaster, aha, and I had nothing to answer him with. But I won only in one case if the blop gives me here in the center where this Rika stood. If he gives me 20 according to my account, it was 21, that's how I could. To do it because I had a magnet in the deck. I calculated that, like, he's going to get drunk now. I probably even had to do 23 there, but in the end, the blop made me 26, and I won in cubes. This is a very subtle moment, when you have 8 cubes on the eve, and you realize that I'm going to play here. Well, you're just pretending music. That is, here's your way out. It's still to go to the end in this case. In that situation, everything was 100% there. Only there was hope for the blob to be more there. I counted 21-23. That is, and that's all I've always won. Well, I think on Veroshka. Yes, I should have had a little unscrewing. I was let down a little on TM. I'm like, well, the game is now twisted. Well, she also twisted. I had a case recently, by the way, about this. Here too, I am 2 days ago, probably, by the way, there is some Ukrainian player from the Emsu clan. And he will sleep on the 6th move, by the way, that's what I'm talking about. It's a big one, and he threw it off there in short corner, then EO on the 5th move to Corvus in there he had 1 card left, and he got 1. And he takes I slept on 2 cubes before that, and he takes another snap like on became.
Ну, то есть, типа, на топ-деке Хела.
Yes, I'm like, well, whatever I look at, he has 3 cards in his deck. You give me a shorter odd cubes, just listen.
И давай, до Тала. А он ставит мне магнита, короче. И отдает 8 кубов просто. Слушай, ну,
Well,
то
that
есть,
is,
ну, в
the
любом
Nuva
случае, это
case
что,
is that it's a
это
puke or
бред,
something,
что ли?
or that it's a hard
Это,
puke,
это
but I
жесткий
didn't
блеф, но
believe it.
я в это
It's
не
like a
поверил.
dream on the 6th that's stupid, if in
Типа
such a
снапать на шестой,
situation, if I
это
just
глупо.
reasoned as
Если в
if.
такой ситуации, если бы... Просто я рассуждал как бы я,
I
да.
was
Если бы
doing if
я
I got the
достал
hlu, I would
Хеллу,
never
я бы
snap, I
никогда не
would just put
снапал.
the squeeze
Я
on the
бы
dude
просто
at the
дожал
beginning of
глаза
the
на 4
cube.
куба.
It's
И это
always
всегда
done
так
like that
делалось.
on
На
the
шестой
6th
ход
move,
никто не
no
снапает.
one
Если ты
sleeps if you
снапаешь,
sing it
это
means that
значит,
like
что
well
типа,
like you have Gofi there.
ну, типа, у тебя там goldfish.
Ну
Ну,
да.
That
вот
is, you
если это
clearly
было,
have
типа,
something to counter there with your well,
а,
in the
Ну,
case of
видишь,
Shoal
хил, как бы,
Colo.
да, непонятно,
It's
как все
unclear
понимают,
because it's
что
like
он
everyone
просто
understands that on the 6th move the
снапает.
dude is
он
playing,
просто взял,
well, he
типа,
just took
этот,
like this.
типа, я достал
Like I
Хеллу,
got
он
Chloe,
прям
he kind
кричит
of screams at
в
me
этот
into this
рупор.
mouthpiece.
Да
Well,
не
there
может же
can't
быть
be such a
такого.
thing that
Слушай,
key,
ну,
but
Я
in
вообще,
general, just on the topic of bluffing,
сейчас по
that's my
теме
feeling, that is.
блефа.
Initially,
Мое
Marv
ощущение, то
Snap
есть
somehow
изначально
seemed that
просто
it was
казалось, что
possible to bluff
можно
there, and so
блефовать,
on.
Может.
But
но
it
мне
seems to me
кажется,
that
что
it
как будто
seems like there is not
последние
much
лет
here.
вот на
There is already
Ну
such
да.
a bluff on your ranks. Not
блефуют.
I was
Мне,
punished once, not
меня
even maybe
наказали
more
один
than
раз.
once a long
Раз
time
когда-то
ago.
давно еще
I
наказали
was
меня за
punished
блеф.
for bluffing, and
И
I'm
я
not old
после
after
этого
that.
не
I never bluff
никогда не
because,
блефую, потому что
if
если
I can't, then
не
I gave
могу,
up
значит
because it's
сдался.
pointless to
Потому
bluff,
что
as a rule,
блефовать
abstruse play.
бессмысленно,
They even
как
sometimes just a
правило.
dude may not even understand that you're sleeping there.
Заумные
Here I
плоты, они
am.
даже иногда... Просто чувак может даже не понять, что ты там
И
снапнул.
вот я
I know one
один
thing
в
about
этом
this
смысле об
because
этом, потому
sometimes
что иногда
players
очень
make such
умные
wild
решения
decisions.
принимают.
Why do I bother
Да,
with this
да.
bluff,
Чего
dude?
этот
I
заморачивается
just
этим
even
блефом?
thought that
Чувак
this is what
просто
I
Да, да.
подумал
assume,
там,
that he will think
вот
that
что
I'm
я
going to play
предполагаю,
something
что он
right now.
подумает, что я вот сейчас что-то
Да.
сыграю. Ну,
Ты
You
можешь
can
просто сам
just beat
себя
yourself
переиграть и
and
сам себя
punish
наказать.
yourself.
Это
This
зачастую
is
так и
often how
работает.
the game works,
Играю,
but firm
да,
the fact that
от
you
того,
really
что
can,
ты
and
реально
if you
можешь.
can't.
А если не можешь,
Maxim,
значит,
here's the next
не
question about your
пытайся.
promotion there to the top.
вопрос
Yes.
по поводу твоего продвижения там к топу, да?
In other words, in recent months, it is clear that you have been occupying very high places among the leaders all the time. When you have already begun to approach the top, when you did not enter the top 100 there, or maybe it was something that happened there. There are the last 3 seasons, yes, and all the seasons you are in the top 1-4 when the system was already conducted here. When the places were introduced as soon as I finished somewhere in the top, I probably wasn't lower than the top 4 sure. I probably wasn't even in the season when there. Lambi also took first place. I was in the top. Oh, I overtook him. He started there with 10, I started because of a broken system. He started at 100 to no one at that time, it's not even fixed. I started with 808, then took 10,500, I overtook him, then just continued to play and merged everything.
Потом взял 10 500, я его обогнал. Потом просто продолжил играть и все слил.
I left somewhere before 10,100, and in the end, I then finished top 6. Probably yes, it was a shame after that. I realized, like the system, that if you overtook, don't play like wait, listen. And do you remember at all in the time on which decks did you play? That's exactly in those days. I played not to top. It was quite possible to play. Yes, I had Galactus with Jeff with then, by the way, Jeff is not this without him, what kind of birth? Then Galactus or what? Yes, without the devil, without there. I won't even say there, that maybe then probably Letta wasn't. Even in the game, yes then, there wasn't even a Letta in the game. Well, okay, God, there has changed many times, so now even. And he probably won't remember what he was like there, because he was changing. Listen, now of course you are already well versed. But here are all the mechanics of this, all that are in the game, how to type. Here you are, as it were, more such an aggressive player, yes. As you said, but of course there will be watching videos, and not only those who are already such seasoned players, too, but beginners, and that's what kind of mistakes are so typical maybe you pointed out to beginners, or roughly speaking, if you're on. I returned to the past like this when I just started playing, what would I say? That's not the way to do it, that is, these are stupid play, yes. Well, maybe some kind of top of a few mistakes, but how not to act in this, to be honest it's difficult. So to say, by the way, I'll say this about the fact that I actually don't always play aggressively. Sometimes it happens that I don't even understand why I'm going to sleep my opponent on the second move. I'm like, okay, I don't play until the last one, and in the end I just win the cube. Well, that's it and that's the end of it. Well, I don't even know. I honestly can't even think of anything like that.
Да я даже не знаю. Я, честно, даже не могу ничего такого придумать.
The only thing I didn't know when I didn't even know how much of a mistake it was. I just didn't know the mechanics of the game at the very beginning. I didn't know that the frame around this avatar type shows who has a shorter priority, and I remember throwing fat cards all the time. Then I got and didn't understand why I lost and I couldn't understand why I was opening first, and he was the second VMP. I understood this mechanics in general. But even top players had such problems, so not everything is lost. Then the guys on the forum in the chat prompted me. I say, damn, how is the game like this? Well, there's still a frame of T priority. Yes, I've already played for 2 months at that time pain.
Слушай, Максим, вот ты уже говорил, там какие-то есть игроки, с которыми ты
Well,
уже
in the
на
top,
топе.
that is,
Например,
about plus or
есть
minus,
одни
the
и те
same
же люди
people meet there at the
встречаются
top.
наверху,
Yes,
да,
they
и
change places there.
меняются местами,
But
но
in
в
general,
целом
we see the
одни и
same
те же люди
faces.
видим.
Yes, but there is some kind of race there.
Какая-то гонка
So when you slow down there,
когда
I
там
don't know.
тормозить, не знаю,
You
не
can't
играть,
play.
может быть, и играть,
There may
да.
be games,
Как это
but I
выглядит?
don't know
Может,
how it is.
коммуникация, чат у
Maybe
вас
you have a
есть,
chat
вы там
there,
общаетесь
where you
между собой, или
communicate with
это
each
вот
other
просто
there,
секретно,
or it's
и
just
вы никак не
secrets.
взаимодействуете между
And you
собой?
don't interact with each
Да
other
нет,
in any
такого, чтобы
way.
я не
No,
взаимодействовал
somehow
ни
I
с кем.
don't
Ну,
interact with
там есть
anyone.
эти
They are
итальянцы,
there. These Ilyich are
Дот
there.
Гео,
Glee and
Гугли,
Pawn here, they are playing there somehow
и
all the
Перегон
time
тоже. Вот
harmoniously.
они там
By the
играют
way,
как-то все
what can
время
you say
слаженно.
about this
Ну,
deck
что ты
here?
скажешь по
Did
поводу
you get him
того,
there with the
что
Phoenix
перегон
against
сегодня
him
успехи?
or not against him?
Попадался ты
М,
против него или нет?
Да, против
I play
него
with him all the
особо
time,
я с ним постоянно
especially
играю.
on the
Особенно
last
в
day.
последний
That's
день,
when he
вот когда
eventually
он
became the
загишал
top 2, I'm the
топ-2, я
top.
топ-1,
Мгм.
We played with them
мы с ним
probably
сыграли,
games
наверное,
probably for the day.
игр 6, наверное, за день. Вот
That's
это
it.
причем в
And
последний
on the
день
last day
сезона
of the
я ему
season,
проиграл
I
на
lost to
счет 1-0.
him on only one of all.
Он
And
причем
then
там
he
потом на
switched to
Таноса
Thanos
пересел
there.
просто,
And that's
и
it.
все.
I
Он,
think he
по-моему,
played
весь,
on
кстати, тот
Thanos
день
all
играл
that
на
day,
Таносе,
by
да.
the
Но у
way,
него была
but
другая
he had
сложность.
another
У него
deck.
еще был
I also
профессор
had
с
with Professor
Алиотом тоже.
Slim.
Слушай,
Я
ну,
просто тогда контрол
Slew,
не
since we're
чувствовал.
talking
слушай,
about
про
decks
кого мы
now,
сейчас
yes, in
говорим,
fact,
да,
a very
что
strong
именно
deck
там
is the
вот
one that you
много
play in the
мне
World Cup.
интересно вот по
Well,
поводу твоей
I
такой
don't know the main one.
экспериментальной, но по факту очень сильной колоде HelaThanos, да, которую ты играешь. Вот в чем ее, ну не знаю, основная
The
фишка,
chip,
как
how
ты
did
к ней
you attach to
пришел,
it
что это
after
такое,
all
ну,
is,
не
well,
банальная
some
какая-то
kind of
колода,
non-banal
которая
deck
просто
that just anyone
берет
can
себе,
assemble.
да,
Да.
может
Maybe
быть,
how
насколько
strong
вообще
is
сильно
Thanos at
отличается
all
после вот
after
этих
this
изменений?
series of nerfs Thanos. As it turned
Танос,
out,
как
I'm just
оказалось,
strong.
силен. Я просто
Even Corner
еще...
would have damn seasons ago experimented with this.
Корвус Хела была, блин, сезона 2 назад, наверное.
Мгм.
Еще был турнир как раз, вот пацаны тогда экспериментировали с этой Корвус Хелой и это Таносом. Ну,
It
мне
turned
тогда
out to be
казалось,
weak
она
for
вообще
me at
слабая,
that
типа, на
time.
тот
At that
момент еще
time,
Лоджо был,
he was,
по-моему.
in my
Да,
opinion,
еще Лоджо
yes,
тогда,
it
по-моему,
was
можно было
possible
играть
to
с
play
буквой
Virgo
F
for
и3.
then.
Мгм.
Like I
Вот
didn't see
тогда,
Corvus
типа, я
at
не
all.
видел
It
вообще
wasn't interesting to me.
Корвуса,
I
мне
played.
было неинтересно. Я играл с Лоджо,
The
с
professor and Nee are
профессором,
fine in
с
the end.
Алиотом, и все говорили,
Everyone then
смотри,
sat down on such a deck
типа,
after the
опс, из
tournament when
Лоджо
they
будешь
saw.
доставать и профессора, и Алиота, типа, сколько раз.
Мгм.
Ничего, нормально. В итоге все потом сели на такую колоду. После турнира, когда увидели её
That's
все,
it,
мы
I'm not a
постоянно на ней
game.
играем.
But then
Но
that's it
потом
and
же
death came,
понерфили
well, in
Лоджо, и
general.
всё, и
There
смерть
in
пришла.
fact, you
Ну,
have only
вообще,
one
вот
card
там,
in the
по
deck.
сути, у тебя в
To
колоде
reset
только
correctly,
одна карта
Corvus has
может быть,
nothing else.
правильно? Корвус. Больше ничего нет.
Да-да.
И
И просто
Хела под
Корвус.
этого.
Is
То
it
есть
that
это
Ну,
about
что
some
если
kind of
какие-то
colo,
супермощные
then
карты
Kurz,
есть, то
it's
ты
just a
поднимешь
frame
Хела,
in order to
и всё.
accelerate, in order to
Вообще, если
already
говорить
from
сейчас
the
вот об
fifth
этом
move.
текущей колоде, то Корвус это просто рамп.
Мгм.
Для того, чтобы разогнаться. Для того, чтобы уже с 5-го хода,
There,
там,
even
даже
from the
4-го
fourth, you can
можно
put a Vi on the
ставить
fifth
движуху.
move,
На
you can
5-й ход
already
можно уже
put a
шестерку
6 on the
ставить. На
sixth
6-й
move,
ход ты опять
you put a
четверку
6
ставишь.
again.
Либо, ну,
Or
в
well,
идеальных
in the
самых
most
случаях ты
ideal cases,
сбрасываешь.
you reset. That's why I really.
Вот почему мне очень
I
нравится,
like
почему я
Y
в
in
итоге перешел
Ito.
опять
You
к
already have a
Корвусу,
fat
потому
carcass
что
under
Танос
reset.
пойдет
That's the
весить.
whole point in principle.
Вот. То
I
есть у тебя
probably
уже
wouldn't have
жирная
come to
кружка
this
есть
like
под
that I
сброс.
initially experimented.
Вот в чем вся суть. В принципе, я бы так к этому, наверное, не пришел. Я изначально экспериментировал
Before
перед тем,
this
как
one,
этот...
I still
Я
wanted
все-таки
to try
хотел
to
пытаться
revive Lock
ловить
Joe. I tried it
лоgbluff.
last season.
Я
Probably
пробовал его в
still
прошлом
forget to
сезоне,
put it
когда он
in.
еще
But
забыл.
it's all slow,
Кайф,
terrible. That is,
но
well,
очень
in the current meta
медленно,
here.
ужасно. То
Ну, то есть
есть,
Lockjaw в текущей вот мете
да.
Not this
не
Nina, not
Не-не.
IKC, only
Я
in a
лоgbluff
deck
вижу
of some
только
kind with a zero, no
в
more in
колоде
any.
какой-то с ноликами.
And it's too
Больше
random
нету.
these. I tried
И
to
то
play with the Torah, when it was
слишком все
also probably
рандомно.
last
Я
month, that
пытался
this month.
Торами играть, когда еще тоже, наверное, в прошлом месяце.
I
В
haven't
этом
played
месяце,
anything
кроме
except
Таноса, в
Thanos,
принципе,
in
ничего не играл.
principle.
Локи,
Loki and
Таноса
Thanos haven't
вообще
tried
ничего не
anything at
пробовал.
all.
Слушай, ну
Listen,
Локи нет,
but these
все-таки
nerfs have changed a lot, and the
изменился
stone has become
механика,
more
Мгм.
expensive in two.
да, и вот
And
те
now that
вот
it's
когда
cheaper,
ты
therefore
один
one
блок
move only there.
ставишь там, да, у
Yes,
тебя
here's a
механика,
green stone.
Да.
ну,
Well,
это по
this in
факту
fact
меняет
really has a strong effect.
сказывается.
This is what you feel that you are missing something there.
Там, не
I
знаю,
don't know, but
Да
I
нет,
have
как-то
already somehow
адаптировался, если
adapted to
честно.
be
Да,
honest.
изначально казалось,
Yes,
типа, о,
initially
всё,
it seemed
ГГ,
like
типа,
everything
смерть,
GGVP death
Танос
Thanos
помер.
died. It
Еще
was
потом,
only
когда
when the
Гонки
yellow one
поменяли,
was
такой,
changed
о,
like this,
все,
oh, all
смерть.
death. Then they
Потом
changed the
поменяли
green ones
зеленые,
and
поменяли
changed Thanos,
Таноса,
oh,
о,
death.
смерть.
And then there's a
15
pancake on you,
делали
and
Corvus
Corvus
Hell,
X turns out to
оказывается,
be
так.
dragging here, I do not know to ask.
Конечно,
Да.
я
Is it
спрашиваю
you
тебя,
or
как
not,
тренер,
that it
что
needs to
надо
be
изменить
changed
Таносе,
into,
что он
that it
точно
will definitely
станет
become
хуже?
weaker,
Потому что
to
если
change it
ответить
completely,
Поменять
to
его,
change it completely?
поменять
And they
Таноса,
plan to do
по
it.
мне это и
Well,
поможет.
like,
Ну, вроде
well,
как.
change
Ну,
it.
я думаю,
поменять
What do you
механику,
mean
чтобы
completely
полностью
replace the
заменить
mechanics of its
его ходом
stones?
вниз.
да.
Yes, yes.
Да вообще
In
полностью
general, it is
заменить
possible
механику
to
Таноса.
completely replace the mechanics of
Ну,
Thanos
типа,
with well,
возможно,
like, well,
ну,
that is. Thanos decks are not
то
all
есть
built
Танос
around
колода все
Thanos, because
строится не
everything
вокруг
is
Таноса.
essentially all.
Ведь все, по сути, вся
The
суть в
bottom
дровере
line
в
is the
камнях.
drover right
Вот.
now. Well, now in
Сейчас,
principle, the same thing
ну да,
hasn't
сейчас, в
changed
принципе, то
much.
же самое. Да,
The
сейчас
same
особо не
greenstone
поменялось.
I
Тот
play
зеленый
because it's a
камень я
rare
играю,
case when
потому
firewood
что
is
чтобы
held so that
дровить.
Thanos can be
Редкий
cheaper
случай, когда
later.
я его придерживаю, чтобы потом Таноса удешевить, он
He
стал
became
закончить,
over
сыграть его на
5,
пятый. Но
and
это
play it
очень
on the
редко.
5th, but it's
Да,
very
но по
rare.
сути
But
камнями
in
ты всегда
fact, you
дровишь.
always eat firewood.
Это
With stones like
так
this
и
is how it
работает. То есть
works.
Танос как
That
Танос,
is,
он
Thanos is like
сейчас,
Thanos, he is
на
now at the
теперешний
present
момент, да,
moment.
после этих всех
Yes,
изменений,
these are
я
all
часто
changes I
стал
am.
ставить Таноса именно 20. Вот прям
Very
очень
often
часто
I do
я это
this.
делаю.
That is,
Ну,
maybe
то есть,
even the nerfs are
вроде
not
даже
bad.
нерфы
Thanos
неплохие.
began to show his
Танос начал
strength.
силу
You have
свою
2 cards
показывать.
firm, the last cards. As far as I understand, yes, they are used. That's the hack.
Мгм.
Это вот и Red Hulk,
And
и
it's an
вот,
imba, it's
Мгм.
just an imba for
Ну,
Thanos.
Инверт это
It's me
имба.
initially,
Это просто
like
имба.
when she
Для
was
Таноса
first
это...
introduced.
Я
I thought she
изначально,
wouldn't work with
типа,
stones, but
когда
when the
ее только
guys said
представили, я
yes,
думал,
she
что она
wouldn't
не
work
будет
with
работать с
stones.
камнями. Но когда пацаны сказали, да не, она будет работать с камнями, это
They
писали,
wrote,
я
I'm
такой,
like, fuck,
ё-моё,
it's all
это
this
вообще...
Thanos card
Это
type.
Танос,
I
Танос
honestly don't
Карма.
see it in
Типа
other
я ее в
decks.
других
Well,
колодах
there are
нигде не
vlogs
вижу.
shoved
Ну,
there.
там блоки
Well,
там
it
пихают.
seems
Ну,
to me that it
мне
just makes
кажется,
it
просто она
cheaper very
выделяет
rarely
эти
in
блоки
other
в
decks.
остальных
In
колодах.
мне, в
principle, I
принципе,
really.
очень
It
казалось
seemed
странным,
strange
потому что
because the
вся
idea
идея
was
была
to nerf
иметь
Thanos,
Таноса,
and they
и
somehow
они
left
Да.
then
и потом
bam, and a
бац,
card comes out.
и выходит
That
карта,
seems to
которая
be specially
высочает.
designed for
Да,
tan
да.
decks initially.
Это
Так
вот
и сделалось. И
достаточно
Red
странно.
Hulk. Red Hulk изначально я
I
говорил,
said that
что
he
он
was
какой-то...
some
Ну,
kind
он
of,
оказался,
well, he didn't
ну,
seem very
не
strong to
очень,
me.
типа,
Well, like a simple, ordinary
сильный. Ну,
kind
типа,
of.
простой какой-то,
Well,
обычный.
11.
Он такой,
Well,
ну,
like
Red Hulk,
15
Red Hulk,
became a.
типа, ну, 11, ну, типа, 15 стал там. А
It's
просто
just
потом
that
я
later, when I
уже
started
когда
playing,
начал играть, мы
well,
поиграли
everyone
его,
played
типа, ну,
it,
от него легко
but it's
отыграть.
easy to win
Я
back
все
from
равно
it.
считаю, что
I still think that the game is,
он
and then you
хорошо
put it
играет
there
только
one
в
on.
умелых руках. А то, что там у тебя тушка там хоть 50 статов, и ты потом ее там ставишь одну на
The
стол, на
table,
которой
but
играл
you
твой
lost the
основной
other
уровень,
2
это
lines like this
абсолютно
never
не
saves you
считается.
anyway in this
В таком
plan.
плане.
But
А
nevertheless, you
вот,
have it
В
in your
этом
deck.
колоде есть. И
And in
вообще,
general,
да,
here's a blob, in my opinion. Well, you also have a
А,
forehead in the
Alioth
deck,
тоже есть в
so in
колоде.
да.
principle,
В
I
принципе,
don't know about.
не знаю,
My
по-моему, вот
strength,
по
well, it's
силе
probably
он
difficult to
сложный
compare them
соперник
with each other.
Он
He's
очень
very
сильный,
strong, by the
кстати.
way.
Ну,
Well,
от
the
Red
Hulk
Hulk
node
очень
is very
сильный. Я, кстати,
strong.
его
By the
специально
way,
купил-то и для
I bought it
колод.
specially
Я
for the
купил за
deck.
6
I
тысяч.
bought it
Я
for 4 6000 when I was making a deck. I experimented. I first put Q, there I had Corvus and Q, and I put Blade there. I tried to do something with the did. I also wrote to the guys like this in a chat like ours, damn, I can't in short, now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to revive Thanos, they're like, well, everything went cooking. I ended up experimenting, I did this. And then I lacked one good carcass.
Но Скара я не хотел ложить, потому что он боится Мобиуса.
I don't like him at all, by the way. I already liked him completely initially. I thought he was cool, but he's very clumsy. I removed him from Thanos last month because he's like 41. But you can only substitute him for a single one. And he's also afraid of a chancha like Raw Ran there. Well, that is, in short, what? It's clumsy for me in general. I removed it completely. Well, yes, as if the element of surprise is completely gone. And it turns out that you always have to recoup from the fact that the dude can, well, kill him with the last move of the chanchi. Yes. I don't really like Obsidian here either. Play well, although in the beginning I showed that it was straight top under the stones that initially played, and he played me too. But this version was still alive when he appeared. In principle, I like it more now, for example, to put a 6 and expect. There are already chances there because there are, well, 20 stats. It's obvious that a person will be there if something throws chances like, well, like 10 stats. And you don't know if the chances will fly there. They won't fly like, but they put a 6 and already like this there. Well, on. In fact, and it's funny, she just seems to me to have replaced him well, because deforces, and as if there are no problems in Shan. Yes, okay, listen, Maxim, there are of course questions just from the guys who. We wrote in the chat, yes, here we are alone. Let's ask the first question from the auditorium, in your opinion. Which deck is well, or was, or is it now? The strongest here, maybe I remembered something that was straight super balanced and the most. Super damn, I just remembered now, I don't even know, I could never come up with but the strongest deck. Probably for all the time of existence. Marvel snap, it wasn't Tis, it was something else. Yes, yes, in those days, Thanos didn't play it at all with the leader, it was an E-game. It would be terrible to have such a groove this in. Well, yes, I remember Bayer that somehow he called this deck there alone. Yes. There it was possible to win the whole game with one leader. Well. It was an era when the leader was just super strong and dragged all the cards, and there was practically no way to counter it well. I remember I probably agree with you, this was a very strong deck back in those days. Now there's nothing left of it. Poly changed everything. 3 key cards, so the horse works, listen to see music. His oil was turned into Edo, not know what a 6. Better, worse, or rather than even difficult to assume Svi. I think he needs to remove at least the postscript T music then.
Тогда еще, может быть, будет какой-то смысл, типа, чтобы он ongoing какой-нибудь задул после открытия.
It turns out that you still have to catch the initiative and put it on the card. Well, this is shorter. Well, yes. Elliot agrees while waiting. I'm sure, in fact, that he will be played less now, and he is somehow either reworked or bafed. Here in the form that it is now, yes, listen, of course, I have already said about the grind is all there. But you yourself have already said that sometimes you take some other decks, their firm which you then get upset and return them to. Dance, what kind of deck that you don't know for the last month you used there for a fan, on what else did you roll the fan deck on? Well, I'm purely in Conquest, I guess I'm there, damn it, by the way, when no one played this god. How is it a 10 under the reset, that which now gives cards, fills your whole hand, yes, 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 here. I put it together in short with Karim with this form there. By the way, I led a lot of conquest there, even well, you play in general, or you just scored right now, in general. I go to conquest purely, probably just because the end of the month already forces me, I'm such a damn. It's necessary to pick up this shku, yes, in the store it's necessary to pick up everything, there are Goldica boosters there.
И
Слушай,
всё,
а у
я
меня вот
тогда
такая как раз
зацепил
мысль
да.
родилась по поводу конквеста, да.
The tournament
Турнир это
component,
штука
after all, we
вдохновляющая.
even
Все хотят стать
corresponded
героем.
with you
Кажется, вот даже
too
когда
when we were
появился
texting videos.
Мгм.
видео, да,
Yes,
я
I
говорил, ну
said,
как бы,
well, it
вроде как
seems like
разные
there are
режимы,
different modes it
получается,
turns
в
out in the
конквесте, ты все
conquest.
равно
You
кого-то
already know the
больше,
opponent's deck
знаешь,
there during the game,
Ну да.
and it seems like you have
не
surprises
отталкиваться,
already. Not
как
what
бы,
kind of
ну,
no here you believe
вот
yourself here,
ты
and
сам
I don't
веришь
know the esports
не
future,
знаю,
or
какие-то
some other way it
специфические
can
вещи или
change.
какой-то
That's what you
другой
think
формат,
about
чтобы
esports in a snap to me somehow in general to be honest in.
Да, мне как-то вообще, если честно, киберспорт в
I don't
рандомных
really like
играх не
random
очень
games,
нравится.
well,
Ну, тем не менее,
nevertheless, you
знаешь,
know, I
Hearthstone до
still
сих
look at
пор
it.
как бы
So I look just
Да,
from memory like a Stowe
я
tournament
смотрю,
when I
вот я
remember there,
смотрю
so.
просто по памяти, как Hearthstone турниры, когда там помню, ну, так,
I don't
прям я
remember the full
полных
details right
подробностях не
now,
помню, но я
but I
помню, был
remember
случай
there
там
was a
какой-то на
case there at a
турнире,
tournament,
это
there's a world
там
level there.
мировой, это
Even
Gwent,
if it's
этот
the
Mad
biggest,
Blizzard,
there
там
was
самый
some
крупный
kind of
какой-то
him,
был, и
and
он,
there's a dude Zan
и
there in
там
the
чувак
con
вот
card dam.
зарандомил там что-то в конце, как-то карту,
да,
блин,
да.
куда-то
Somewhere
что-то
something flew
прилетело,
and killed
убило
there,
там,
and
и
everything
все.
there
А Magnaros
Ragnaros
скинул
through
куда
where
надо,
it was
там,
Там
necessary.
30%
Their
или 20.
30%
Pavel играл,
Pavel
там
would
тоже
have played
играет
there such a Russian
А,
grok,
вот,
and
да-да.
he
и
pulled
он
out a
с
polymorph from
Vanilla
the book that
вытащил
turns.
полиморфа, который
In the
превращает
sheep just the same, yes,
как
and
раз-таки,
it was
да.
it
И это
was there
было, это
well,
было
that
там,
is,
ну, то есть вот
one
так
card is
конкурс
the only
действительно
one that
поставил
saved
его,
him.
и он именно
And he
ее
gets it and
получает,
wins the
и
game, there it was of course
Да.
well,
конечно,
random there of
рандомно
course rules well,
кайфово.
by the
Но,
way.
кстати, по
Ну,
рандому,
According to
вот в
random
снайпе,
here in the snap as far as
насколько его
his.
реально много,
There's really a lot of
насколько это
randomness
все-таки
here,
рандомно,
or after
если
all,
сравнивать
it's
с
not
другими.
super such a random game if you compare it with others.
наверное,
Probably
самая
the most
нерандомная игра
non-random game
будет
it will
этот
be this Gwent I
Gwent.
played, yes.
Ты
I
играл?
remember I
Как
loved
я
Gwent.
играл, да, я помню, любил Gwent.
I
Я не
wasn't a
в
fan that's
я не был
exactly
фаном вот
music, it's The
именно
Witcher.
этого,
I even that turns out to be in The
эм,
Witcher itself, e-game.
Ведьмака?
That there's some
Ведьмака,
people
да-да.
even.
Я даже не знал, что, оказывается, в Ведьмаке самом была эта игра, она так и называлась, Gwent, это карточная, что там некоторые люди даже
We
часами
spent
проводили,
hours
как
as I
мне
was
рассказывали.
told, and
И
that's
вот
the original
изначальная
concept of
концепция,
E,
которая
which
была,
was
вот
this
эта
map.
карта, вот это
This is
вот всё,
everything
как
as it
она
was
была
in the
в
game in
игре,
The Witcher
в
itself.
самом
That's how I
Ведьмаке.
liked
Вот так
it.
мне
That's when
нравилось.
I enjoyed it.
Вот
I got
тогда я
high.
получал
And
удовольствие,
then they
кайфовал. А
completely
потом
the
они
whole
полностью
game.
всю игру
They
переделали,
remade it, and
и
I
я
was
такой:
like,
"Да чё вы,
yes, what
ребята,
are you
это ого
guys?
какое-то".
Well, this is
И
some
всё, и
kind
мне
of
она, в
bullshit,
принципе,
and
легла
that's it.
потом, да.
Well, she
Ну, на самом
basically
деле, про Gwent
died
можно
then.
много говорить.
Yes,
Я
in
тоже
fact,
говорил, но
you can
там
talk a lot
Мгм.
about it because I also
маркетинг
loved it,
своеобразный
but
был
there was a
и
kind
Да.
of marketing
всё
there.
такое.
Yes.
Ну, слушай,
There
Ну, там
was no
халява, да.
economy
Там
there.
халява.
In fact,
Там можно
there
было
was
много
no
кто,
need to spend
на самом
money
деле,
on Gwent at
нужно
all.
было вообще не
It was
потратить деньги
possible to
на
make
Gwent.
all the cards
Можно
their
было все
gold.
карты сделать
And
там
all that,
золотыми
listen
или
to
что-то
this,
такое.
and by the
Ну
way,
да. Ну, я,
I moved
кстати
away from this
я,
question.
кстати, отошел от твоего вопроса,
About
про
random, that there is a
рандом
frame in
выбор.
principle. Well,
Что,
with these
есть на
locations,
Ну, в
in
принципе,
principle, it is possible
ну
to
вот с
control it
локациями
relatively
этими.
somehow.
В принципе,
Here are
можно
some
это
locations that they
относительно
throw out
как-то
some nonsense
контролировать.
to
Вот
you.
некоторые локации прям хренак тебе выкидывают как-то
And
ерунду,
you're
и
like,
ты
oh
такой:
well,
"О,
I
ну всё,
lost
я
everything.
проиграл",
Like
типа.
for a deck,
Что
for
для
example.
колоды
The
надо
opponent's
продвинуться,
location
эта
is
локация
stronger,
сильнее.
well,
Ну, в
in general.
целом,
Well,
ну,
in my
по-моему,
opinion,
щас
it's
лучше.
better
Вот
now.
вот
So
я
a few
ещё
months ago, I
полчаса
could say
назад
that this
узнал,
is a
что короче,
random
это рандомная
parasha, and I
параша, и
said
я
so I
говорил
wanted
так, что
to.
я хотел
To
ливнуть
shower
из
out
игры,
of the
но то, что
game,
меня
but I
удерживало,
was
то,
just
что я
held back by the fact that I was like a
типа
free-to-play player.
free-to-play игрок,
Like I
типа
put so
столько
much
сил
effort into
вложил,
it.
типа
Like you
там
come in there
выделил
every
каждый день
day, do
заходы, ты
these
там
missions,
мясо
so that you
минусы,
don't
чтобы
miss
ни одного
any
не
of them,
пропустить,
so
типа
that you
там
open these cards
вроде
there too.
карточки эти
And so
открываешь,
it
и так
seems
вроде
like
всё
everything is kind of
классненько, и
cool,
потом
and
что-то
then
такой
it's
взять и
like this to
ливнуть из
take
игры,
and
ну
shower
что
out
ты
of the
сказал,
game.
столько времени
Well,
потратил.
it's kind of a pity I
Но
spent so
топ-лейдер,
much
то
time.
есть ты
Listen,
вообще
you say a
или
player.
Battle Pass
That is, you
покупаешь?
buy a nup at all
PvP.
or a battle
Я считаю,
pass.
что в
I think that in the Marvel
PvP
Snap
игрок
for
это
to
просто
play a
который
player.
покупает Battle
It's
Pass.
just
Ну,
someone
типа,
who buys a
не
battle
покупать
pass
Battle
well,
Pass это
like
как-то
not
тупо.
buying a battle
Типа,
pass,
это,
is kind of
наверное,
stupid to be honest.
самое лучшее
It's
вложение, я
probably the
считаю,
best
в
investment,
Marvel
like in
Snap.
Marv Spin
Это
Messia to
10
press.
баксов в месяц, типа, надо вот
Ну,
отжать так и
у тебя сейчас
дайте
какой
карточку.
The level
сейчас
of of the collection already spit big enough in principle, you have all the cards now. Or what collections I don't have the same thing for me.
Не, full коллекции у меня нет, да. Но
Я
у меня
помню,
нет
5-6
типа
где-то вот так.
фуфловых. Да, у меня то же самое.
I
У меня
don't
нет
have
типа
only
фуфловых
bullshit
типа
like a
грандмастера.
grandmaster. I immediately
У меня
have
как
cool
раз
things like,
есть.
but still too.
Не, я его
0,
пропустил,
I
я
don't like the
сразу
type at
говорю,
all.
фуфло какое-то. Ну, типа, иногда он выдает какие-то крутые штуки, типа, но все равно 2-0 мне вообще не нравится. Типа,
Throws their
перекидываешь,
plays
что-то
back,
там
in short,
отыгрываешь.
some
Это
nonsense. To be
ерунда.
honest,
Типа,
it's not the card that I would
не
like.
та
By the
карта,
way, I
которую я
don't
бы
have a
хотел. Нексус
Phoenix,
я
I
не
missed
понял.
it. I missed
Я
that
его
season in
пропустил.
general. I
Я
didn't
пропустил
open
тот
its
сезон
snare,
вообще,
in my
я его
opinion, too, by the
не
way.
открывал. Silk, по-моему, тоже, кстати,
Was in the
была
same in the
в
Battle
этом же
Pass,
Battle Pass,
yes
да?
25, which I also missed by the
Я
way
ее
that
тоже
season
пропускал,
also
кстати,
read her
тот
flom,
сезон.
and I still
Тоже
missed the
считал ее
season.
фуфлом.
Did not buy a Battle Pass
И
2,
я
by the
еще
way, when.
пропускал сезон, не покупал тоже Battle Pass, кстати, когда
It
эта
was a
пассивка была,
spider that
которая там
was
все
dragging the
двадцатки
map
вот
from
так вот
location to location.
1-2 это.
Yes. I
Да-да,
also
я ее
missed it
тоже
now. I
пропускал.
already have it
И
except
вот,
Phoenix
ну,
everything
сейчас
in
это у меня уже
principle,
появилось,
but then
тоже
I kind of
Phoenix
missed
сейчас, в
3.
принципе. Но тогда я типа пропускал. Вот, кстати, 3
I
месяца,
probably
наверное,
haven't
Battle Pass
bought
не
a Battle
покупал, да.
Pass for a
Потому
month,
что эта карта
but I thought it
прикольная,
was
и
Connie. Listen,
Слушай,
Maxim.
Максим, ну вот как
Well,
раз
just
продолжая
continuing the
тему
topic about maps, there was such a
про
question.
был такой
We have
вопрос,
some
вот
kind of
какие
top,
тут
I don't know.
топ-5, не знаю,
Well,
может,
maybe less as it turns out.
любимые
Cards,
карты,
and
там
there are
топ-3,
top 3 that
которые
annoy
тебя
you
там
right
бесят,
away.
раздражают.
Not that they
Не то,
are
что они
bad,
плохие,
but some
а
kind
вот
of
именно
infuriating
прям
cards.
бесящие карты,
You don't
которые
like
ты не
them when they
любишь,
play
да,
against you
для
there.
тебя
What is a
это
pancake?
такое.
I'll immediately say a
Блин,
card.
сразу бесячую
Well,
карту
it's
скажу.
already been
Ну, ее уже
killed.
убили. Это
It's
Алиот.
Elliot.
Я
I
просто
just
ненавижу
hated
Алиота.
Alioth.
Я
I
им
played with
играл,
him.
но я его
But I
ненавидел.
hated him because I
Потому что я
always thought it
читал
was very
всегда
difficult
очень
to
долго,
remove
кстати,
him
читал,
from the
что его
game at
надо
all,
было
but
удалить
so they
вообще из
did.
игры, но это они таки сделали.
This is a map
Это
that broke
карта,
so many
которая
games
ломала
for
мне
me.
столько
It's
игр, это
just.
просто
Trendits
пиздец.
you are
Ты
banal. You already see that
банально
you
тоже
won,
видишь,
but
что
you
ты
always
выиграл,
went back from to
но ты
situations.
всегда отыгрываешь
Whether he has a
в двух
Leo or
ситуациях.
not,
Есть
if
у
there
него
is an
Алиот или
Elliot,
нет.
you
Если
lost if
есть
there is
Алиот,
no Elliot.
ты
You
проиграл.
always
Если нет
won,
Алиота, ты
and this
всегда
is this.
выиграл. И вот
50
это вот
minus
50
50
на
is not
50
a roll with this
управление с этим
Lyoto, it
Алиотом,
was
это
creepy now, by the
уже
way, 100 is better.
лучше.
Or here in
И вот, в
principle he
принципе,
was
вот
not
это
playing at
он
one
был одно
time.
время не
Well,
играл.
in fact, when
Вот
they
На
are
самом
playing
деле,
him
такая
now,
очень
I
занятная
don't
тема,
really
на самом
understand
деле,
because
реально
he
он
really
как-то
somehow flew out
вылетел
already
из
like that.
топа
From the top of the games, well, he
Да-да-да.
disappeared a little bit.
Ну,
Well, they
Он
killed
пропал
him.
немножко.
Thank
Ну,
God.
убили и
Let's
убили,
have
слава
some
тебе.
more
давай еще
BCA.
какой-нибудь беседы,
Which is still
который тебя
annoying.
раздражает.
I don't like cards that are
Бесячие,
goblins.
не люблю карты, которые вот гоблины эти
These all
всякие.
sorts of
Я
a
их
yes that fly to you,
да-да.
yes, yes.
Который
I
заливает
also
тебя.
played this mechanic
Да-да,
very
я
much at
вот
one
вот
time,
эту
only on
механику
it.
очень
Like,
не
how
люблю.
are these
Хотя одно
called?
время я
How
играл,
is this
я играл
archetype
только
called at
Алиот.
all? I have
Типа,
already
как
forgotten.
это называется? Как этот архетип называется? Вообще забыл уже.
Clock
Клок,
here
вот.
are the ones that the enemy table
Которая
is shitting
засирает
clo,
вражеский
and
стол.
well, I
Клок.
realized yes, yes. I
Да,
remember
вот
playing
я
for
одно
a
время
while.
играл, помню, мне
I
было
even
очень
really liked
нравится,
it like
как
you control the
ситуации.
situation.
Но
But then
потом
something then
что-то
lost.
там
Then it's a
потом
viper
опять
yet.
Вайпер еще
They
поменяли.
changed
Ну, это
well.
тебе еще
It's
надо,
still
на самом
Thanos in
деле,
you.
плеер говорит,
The player
что
still says
понятно,
because they
когда
don't like it
концы
when their
становятся
locations
такие
are
резкие,
scored with
Да,
something they have something to fill in with their own.
Вот
I
не
don't
нравится
like this
мне этот
eyes, by the
антилус
way.
читать.
I would
Я
also
его
delete
тоже
it from the game,
удалил, если
to be
честно.
honest at first.
Сначала мне
I
очень
really liked
нравился, потому
him
что в то
because at
время
that
я
time I
играл
was
с
playing with a
Ковалем,
log, by
кстати,
the way,
до
before
того,
Anki
как
came out.
Антилус
But
вышел.
when Anki came
Но
out,
когда Антилус
I was
вышел, мне этот
already
комп
not
стал
very
не очень
interested in the
интересен.
log, so
Мне
I
не
don't like
нравится
this
вот эта
combination.
комбинация Сентры
Well,
и
just well, in
Антилус. Ну,
short.
прям, ну, короче,
It's an
бесячая эта
infuriating
ситуация какая-то.
situation of
Типа,
some
тебе
kind.
надо там
You need
всю
to
локацию
score the whole
забить,
location
чтобы там
in order
как-то
to somehow
перекрыться, а
get
ты
over
тут
this
10
10.
минус 10
Well,
тушки.
of
Типа,
course you
ну,
can beat there.
Ну,
I'll
там,
shut
конечно,
up
ты можешь
someone's
обыграть
slot
за
somehow.
каким-то
Yes,
образом
but
да,
чей-то
да.
слот, да, но
if you don't have
если у тебя
Jeff,
нет
then
Джеффа,
it turns
то
out that
получается
you are
ты
already
Да.
ты не
guaranteed
ставишь
not to put
в
anything in
архетип
this field.
поле, то
Well,
есть
well.
Да.
он
Ну,
бывает.
Thanos
That's a little
немножко в этом
easier in
плане
this regard,
проще, потому
because
что
there
там
is a
есть
VIN,
вижен,
there is a
есть
DF,
DF,
there is a stone
есть
that
карты,
moves
которые
cards from the
перемещают карты из
location.
локации. Вот
This
это
kind of saves
спасает
at least.
как-то.
Somehow,
Ну, типа,
well,
вот
quiet
Антилус
too.
тоже
I don't
не
like E
люблю.
there.
Что там,
I
я
don't
не
even
знаю,
know
было.
E any map that I
Еще
don't like
какая-нибудь карта,
directly,
которую я
even
прям не
probably
люблю.
won't even say in.
Ах, даже, наверное, не
Ну,
скажу. В
всё равно,
принципе, все
ты
карты
всё
More
больше
tricks
по-своему.
already
мне
seems
кажется,
to
назвал
me
карты,
to have named
поэтому
cards that you
Слушай,
don't
а
listen to,
тогда, ну,
and then, well,
топ-3
let
пускай
the
будут
top 3 be
любимые
your
карты.
favorite cards.
Ну, то, что
What I
я
love
больше
most
всего
in the
люблю в
game is
игре, это
Galactus.
Галактус.
It's right, the best
Типа,
animation is the
самая
coolest
лучшая
every time.
анимация, самая клевая. Каждый раз
You
играешь,
play
каждый
every
раз
time
получаешь
you get
удовольствие.
pleasure, just
Просто
admiration others.
восхищение.
Why is Thanos
Посмотришь
such a
две
frankly
карты,
bum
ну,
animation? Is just when the stones that you have something crumble there, yes.
Бомжи-анимация просто.
Это когда камни что-то
Сидит.
имеешь, что-то рассыпаются там.
Да,
And yet
и ещё
only and
только
only
для
4 you of
тебя
one type,
одного, типа,
and the
противник
opponent
это
doesn't
выглядит.
even
Ну,
see it
это
well,
вообще трындец
it's generally a
какой-то.
trend of some
Галактика
kind of
там баца,
Galactus.
там залетает
It's
с
dad
рукой
flying in
там.
there with his hand on his knees there.
Ускорение.
What he even
Что
says
он там
there,
даже
I don't
говорит, я не
know,
знаю,
I
я когда
always
слышу
hear you
You
before.
before Galactus.
Galactus well, as
Да
far
что
as the
такое
D
говорит
says
там
there on
камень
his
before
knees in front of
Galactus,
Galactus,
before
that nils
ну,
before and well, but maybe by
так
the
может,
way.
кстати, быть, да.
Yes,
Ну вот,
well,
я
I
даже
could
я
never
никогда
make
там не
out
мог
there at the
разобрать
beginning
вначале,
what
как
he
он
says
говорит.
well.
Ну,
Lattice
Galactus
is
это
my
не
most
самое
Galactus to
Galactus,
me.
согласен. И мне
I
тоже
also
нравится
like
Galactus,
Galactus.
редко,
I
но
rarely
как-то
play,
офигенно.
but the map is
Ещё как
awesome.
Да.
what kind of Thanos is probably logical, let it be
Пусть
Thanos.
будет Thanos,
But
да.
well, it will be strange if you are in the top 4 how many seasons in a row on TIS, so that it is not yours to love. I'll just explain why I'm sitting right now on principle, even if he wasn't like this. Well, that is, everyone says. Well, he's such a strong imba, but I'm on Thanos.
Ну, то есть все говорят, ну вот он такой сильный, имба. Но я на Таносе
I
играю
only
только
play
потому,
because
что
you
у
have
тебя есть
variability.
вариативность.
You have a
У
stone
тебя
that,
есть камень,
well,
который,
used to give mana. Yes, it was
ну, раньше
cool.
давал ману,
You
да,
have a
это было
stone that you
cool.
bet its
У тебя
5
есть камень,
stats in
который
fact,
ты
if a
ставишь,
dude
это
has
5
4
статов по
cards in a
факту. Если у
location,
чувака в
and you.
локации 4 карты, и ты один,
Omi
и
is doing
4
this
делаешь.
super stone paradise
Это
from the deck on
супер
the
камень.
mecha,
Ты
and can
выбираешь
always change the location
еще
you do not
2
please.
камня из колоды, это тоже шикарно. Ну, либо единички, как это он же по механике идет, да? Ты можешь поменять всегда локацию тебе неугодную. Ты
You
можешь
can move
переместить
the
карты
cards
из
from the
локации,
location you
которые
want.
ты хочешь,
Like,
типа,
damn,
блин,
you
у тебя
always have
наступает
such
всегда
variability.
вариативность,
You don't
типа
need
тебе
to
не
put it
надо
down.
жить, вот даже,
Even
например,
for
пару
example with
электричек
a
отдельно,
separate
да?
one, but you
А у тебя
already have a
есть
super
красный
red
камень. Ну,
stone.
это супер же, да? Ну, вот, то есть, из-за того, что за счет Таноса ты можешь, ты одновременно кладешь
A
уже
lot
много
of T
разных
is
карт.
its cool that
То
is,
есть,
you
ну,
have there is
это
always
круто. То
something
есть, у
to
тебя
do that's
есть
like the lock
есть
changed
всегда
for a
что
lot of
делать. То есть,
stats
не
moved
нравится
well.
локацию
This
поменять.
is great, that's
За
why
много
I
что
love
делать,
Tan,
передвинуть.
because
Ну,
when
вот
you
это вот
take any.
шикарно. Вот поэтому я и люблю Танос. Потому что, когда ты берешь любую другую
Another
колоду, в
deck,
которой
in which there
12
are
карт,
12
и
cards often, well,
зачастую,
yes, you win there, you
ну да,
win,
ты там
then you
выигрываешь,
lose.
выигрываешь,
You
потом
lose a
можешь
lot
и
of
проигрываешь,
times.
проигрываешь и проигрываешь, потому что в 3 картах в колоде у тебя остаются там ключевые карты твои. Ну, с Таносом как-то зачастую не
Not
так.
so
То
that
есть
is,
ты
you twist,
крутишь,
twist,
крутишь,
twist,
крутишь, и у
and
тебя
you
все равно
still have
больше
more
возможностей вот
opportunities for some
для
kind of
флоя
diverse
каких-то
spit.
разнообразных.
That
То
is
есть
why I
вот
love
почему
TIS
я
very
очень
much.
сильно люблю
But
Танос.
because it's a
Потому
variation,
что это
well,
вариативность.
another one, what else is it?
Ну и еще одну. Какая еще такая
A cardboard box, that maybe it's I don't know a technical card, not necessarily some kind of straight colo
Да,
forming a
мне,
BN, by the
кстати, мне
way.
нравится
I like
Cannonball.
straight, I
Прям
played him for a
Серьезно?
long time, one
Ну,
Thanos,
я его
he
играл,
was
кстати,
with
мой
a
Танос,
cannonball.
тоже топ-1 Танос, он был с Cannonball.
And what's the
И
В
trick
что?
прошлом
there?
сезоне.
I do
Слушай,
not
я не знаю,
know,
мне
it
просто
just
показалось,
seemed to
Cannonball
me
вообще
that there
по-моему
was
какая-то.
some kind
Там
of garbage
была
in
фишка в
general.
том,
The trick was
чтобы,
that,
как
as a
правило,
rule,
лочить
Loki
локации
locations by this
этим
professor on the 4th
профессором
move,
на
at best it happened on the 5th.
4-м, в лучшем случае, бывало на 5-м, типа.
Like,
И
and
главное
most
тебе выиграть одну
importantly, you
локацию,
win one location, and there's
а там уже
already a
каннонболом
cannonball
набрать.
for
Либо ты
luck.
выкидываешь карту,
Either you
которая тебе
throw out a
выгодна из
card that you
одной
don't want
локации,
from
либо
one
убиваешь
location,
другой
or you
и
kill in another
выигрываешь.
and
Ну,
win
ты, я
well.
так понял,
I
не
understand you
убрал,
removed
не
it.
понравился.
Didn't like it or
А
so.
здесь
Here
здесь
he
он
is
лишний,
superfluous,
просто
just
лишний.
superfluous, just
Просто
for
мне
me
здесь,
here, for
например, те же
example,
хелы,
with the same
хочешь
high, it's better to throw
кинуть
Thanos. There is not a
Таноса,
stone of some
там,
kind,
не знаю,
but
камень
throw it out
какой-нибудь,
than
да,
an enbow
выкинуть,
that randomly takes.
чем Cannonball, который рандомно берет,
Will take over another
кинуть в другую
location,
локацию
a
сильную
strong
карту,
card
типа,
like
я
I
вообще
lost
проиграл за
B50 naughty.
550,
Well,
типа,
the time is
ну, то есть
already
все
where you
время
can
отыгрывается
control it,
от
but it's really.
удачи. Типа, Cannonball, он должен играть в такой колоде, где ты можешь его контролировать. Но это, на самом деле,
858
5-8
Chanchi in short aha,
Chanchi, короче.
even a little bit stronger
Даже
universal.
чуть
You can
сильнее.
say I like it right
Универсальный, да,
away, I
типа,
took it
такой,
right
мне
away.
нравится прям.
I
Я
understood
сразу
you.
брал.
Listen,
Я понял.
well, there
Слушай,
is still
ну,
a question from
такой
subscribers.
вопрос еще есть от
Мгм.
подписчиков.
Regarding
Ну,
the
в
future of the
будущем
game, yes, well, of
Мгм.
course,
как бы думал,
you kind
что
of thought
поправить
what was
какие-то,
missing in the game.
добавил, изменил.
And what could have been
Вот,
added or
ну, не знаю, там
changed?
пару
Well,
таких
I don't
вещей,
know.
которые тебе
There might be a
кажется,
couple of things that you
нужно
think
было
you would need to
добавить,
add.
было бы круто.
Or it would be cool if it appeared. Damn, by the
Ну,
way,
кстати,
I
было
had
по поводу
ideas
этого
about
идеи.
this, but I've already
Короче,
forgotten them a little bit now.
Вот
Here are
некоторые
some
вещи,
things that
так
they
сказать,
finally
они
added.
наконец-то добавили,
What you can see
что ты можешь
inside the
посмотреть
game,
внутри
what
игры,
you
то, что
dropped,
ты
and what you
сбросил,
destroyed.
и то, что ты и уничтоженная карта.
Cards I don't like,
Мне
that there is
нравится,
no
что есть
counter that
счетчик,
doesn't
который не
count, for
считает,
example, DPU,
например,
that you don't
Дэдпула.
show it in the killed.
То, что ты
But
не
how
можешь
should
его
I count how much
ну,
death,
его не
damn it?
показывают в
That is,
выигрыше.
I have
Но
to
как я
sit
должен
all the
посчитать,
time
сколько смерть,
and
блин?
count
Я
how
то есть
much.
должен все время сидеть и
He
считать,
killed the
сколько
cards
карт он убил.
aha,
Ага,
so he
так, он на
killed
первом ходу
Deadpool on
убил
the first
Дэдпула,
move,
так, на
so
втором
on the
ходу
second
убил
move,
Дэдпула, на
he killed
третьем.
Deadpool
То
on the
есть
third.
почему не
That is,
показывает счетчик?
why does
Вот
the counter
именно
not show exactly the number of
количество
murders?
именно
That is
убийств,
9,
то есть
but it
9,
turned out that
да,
is.
получилось. А
He
вот если он
returned to the
вернулся,
hand the
то же
same
самое,
thing.
как с этим,
As with this with
с
the apocalypse in the
Апокалипсисом
same
в том же
deer,
самом
that is,
дискарде, то
with
есть
this moronic
еще с
prom
этой
that works. You never need it. There shows the cards that he dropped then squandered, and he does not show that he dropped the apocalypse. How do I know the apocalypse? 20 stats, 30 stats there. Well, That's what I really don't like either. That is, I don't even know if he dropped the apocalypse or not. Well, like you have to figure out about there by the number of cards. That's what I don't like. I think it could be too. Implement it somehow in the game so that it can be seen, everything is visible. That is, in that same place, I think there is this story spit. Yes, there is a story that's possible. It is possible to implement something like this. In my opinion, it would be cool. It's cool to me, too. It seems important to me how many times I lost, in my opinion, when I just incorrectly calculated the amount of the same epoch, yes. Which is unclear whether the mod was reset or. There under Wonga, there was something he dumped it because, for example, when the map there shows even their P3 PD there. Yes, that someone added it there, but you can't even look who added it. Where did these stats come from? There, yes, PD there. Well, there in my opinion does not even write the source of this plus of stats here in this regard. For example, Einhard Baffs there. It is not written that this is Iron Har gave 2 stats, but just +2 there. But in the future you are a clan warrior somehow. Do you believe that they have a roadmap like they should lead you yourself? There's quite a lot in the clan. I just looked through it when I looked at this as he FAK or K, I looked through it. I even looked there. In the top 100, well, there are 34 players for sure, in my opinion. There is a river, there is a lost there. There is also a cubic, there are 130 positions somewhere, he is sitting, I don't know for sure now, well, in general. You somehow discussed. I do not know among themselves. Here is the idea of the clan of Vars in general, how they will be, or it will be like that. Well, just some kind of aside to the game, that in fact everyone will play for himself, there and all score some points there to farm well. I'm more what? Then this solo player is, so it's somehow harder for me, to be honest. I don't have a little idea. I just somehow how it turns out it's like a circle of interests, more in constant contact with the guys, like discussing something cool. There, exchange some information there on the game. Discuss something like how exactly there is a brother for a brother. I don't like this as a basis. Well, in a card game, I left the League of Legends there because of this. Is there all in a row because it's like playing for a team. Well, in principle, this is not implemented probably in the cards. So that you depend on someone all the time, although recently we played a tournament, there was such a Johnson's Cup and there. We played like this as a team on teams like 3 Natri players, and there was like conditionally 2 opponents were playing here, and then one was knocked out, like the next one was playing from a team like he knocked out 2 there, and that's it. In short, until everyone knocks each other out like, well, in such a format, it can still be, well, only tournaments. I probably wouldn't play so just for the sake of the fan, probably in pursuit of some goal. In short, money is money there, but it's just that they probably implement it somehow, but most likely there will just be some achievements. There's a plan, there's 10. And they got 50 boosters there. Well, let's see, just by and large there are 2 options, it seems to me. Either it's based on some kind of conquest. Do his clan, yes, or just it will be large dudes will type, I don't know their cubes. And the total number of cubes, suppose somehow affect the overall rating of the clan. Well, let's see, it's all such fortune tellers, of course, we are nothing I would still like. Here's a mode like Arena added something, by the way, just not the fact that I would horse the pawnee are waiting for's Noel, that is. You mean like a draft? Yes, when you here's a draft, cool topic, yes it should be. This must be an interesting thing. Listen, just as you already said about the truth. Not card games, but League of Legends called the games there. Yes, who played? But in key. Well, by the way, you already said and played. Yes, well, probably Hearthstone everyone played saw played. Yes, I didn't play for a long time at all, for a very long time. I actually went into Hearthstone strangely. Like I was still at school then, I remember this one, and in short I wanted to play Diablo 3 by the way. I remember in Diablo 2 I liked it so much, like Diablo 3 came out, I'm like damn, I want to play everything. I'll buy a face like I went and threw money there on the webman, probably then I don't even remember. In short, I bought myself this one. Diablo 3, and it comes to my email like this, like there we invite you to play like Hearthstone, like here you become this, well, like I was given such a promo code to enter the game on. In my opinion, it was still unavailable at that time, in full access, that is, it was still a little limited in beat. Probably there was some kind of I was like, nifiga to myself. In short, I was there for Diablo 3 in a day, probably passed there in a couple of hours. And everything was like, I'm not interested in how they play there before. Infinity, and I flew into the Hearthstone, and that's it. I was gone. In short, I took the legend there. And often even got there somewhere straight, I don't know, there in the tops of the legend, in fact in the Marvel Snap. Well, like the 100th rank. It's like an analog of the legend, you too, it's fireproof there, like, and then you're already making your way there. You're already taking a place in the legend. I was somewhere top 1000, probably top 2, something like that, more on I honestly don't remember, I could have been. Somewhere out there, and the top 600 maybe. But I'm shorter how to say it, that's why I then sure know well, just how I left because he was killed in principle. It became uninteresting when it passed there. This wall went, that's it. That's all in principle. The movement probably when the TH began, when there were too many cards in the game, and meta, in principle, did not change there at all. No one did anything there. Moreover, they do it relatively often, and there they are about to kill something there. An imbalance of horseradish there, or they changed it. That's what I like Blizzard there could not change this row Jenkins for 6 months, damn it, and there these modes, which have been coming out all the time there, well, they're actually, as far as I remember. There is also a classic mode where you can actually sweat, and there is even a separate LAR therefore. Classic mode, well, I'm actually just 2, since I've been playing 4 years now, exactly in Hearthstone. I can say it's not that I didn't like the game, I just think I'm already tired of everything. Already some kind of deja vu from everything that's happening, and well, I sometimes just watch streams, and sometimes I've seen what they're doing there now. There's just a match probably going on there, in principle. And they were there for a long time before. But before some kind of that's all it was like. The limited you damn could play on fatigue, this yes there on the control, very urinate there yes, and now there is no there at all. Endlessly you just throw a card, and get another 10. There are 10 more cards from it, then mix it into a deck of 30 more cards. I took out 30 cards. The full Marvels gets me hooked with fast games, just crazy pace, maybe in 10 minutes a game of 15 games, and in any place it's not it's that's why I fell in love terribly Snap, because this game is very fast, you poke into the mat, and threw out all 12 cards. Goodbye through goodbye, lost to new super, I actually even say this, I'm well watching the key. And all the time you're already comparing with Marv Spawn, and everything seems to me super long. I don't understand if the card is 20 minutes goes by or half an hour, I don't understand how to play this anymore. I don't know, Marvel Snap is bad in this regard. It affected me, I want to quickly have this dry some Kato that is now in the Snap. Okay, have you tried this artifact? I tried the artifact, not only did I try it, I wrote a very large article, now I don't remember for which site, literally in 2 weeks. It was still on the wave of hype, but then I smashed it to dust, and said that it was a dump in cat po. There are no minutes, I played 1 game exactly, played 1 game, it lasted half an hour somewhere. And I immediately requested a refund, I didn't open these boosters, anything, I didn't do anything. I think, well, whatever it is, this is such a slug. I'm just not ready to sit. I'm 3 fields. It's a blind of cheese because it's not white. There is you have to look at the screen and see what is happening on the field, and when you still have to move 10 screens there back and forth. And you have something going on there everywhere, well, look, Nastya was 0, well, this is a dead product. I think it was immediately clear that's it. Of the new ones, I don't know. I looked here too. According to the comics that Dual Force came out, I don't know. You tried it, you didn't try it, you didn't even try it. I didn't like it visually from what they threw. I didn't even see what it looks like in the end, but I didn't like the visual itself at all. That is, the game doesn't catch me at all. I'm like, listen. Then we already have a couple of questions left to ask there. I was so delayed, I thought we'd talk for half an hour. In the end, we've been recording for almost an hour. 54 minutes here. I see we already have a record old, and I thought 5 minutes in total. Not well. We really quickly OODA this. And a lot of questions we have with you once look. I've already basically talked about the technicalities when we hear. In your opinion, yes, well, maybe on some principle I don't know, you choose. Maybe some I think that they are universal cool in themselves, well, I say it's clear. Mo Karako, I don't know any other techniques here are some here you are. You like it better yourself, do you think that they, well, go into many decks there? Yes, I believe that there are no universal cards. I will sweep in my case so especially then. There is I fly into the season, and look here people play on this, and that I need people I meet a lot of Loki op. I put in the deck of this Mo, yes there's well Kozma. In general, I don't even remember to be honest, when the last time I played COS all the cards, it's right FAK, but also you pro. Arsh, if 100 I have already learned from bitter experience it does not help as soon as you take armor into the deck. You will no longer meet a single formation, write it down I'm telling you. I only played on Loki, every game I have 10 or 10 nerves, I changed the deck, I played 10 games, not a single formation. I'm just changing the deck again, I have Pit Destroy again. Then I collected Thanos with armor from Kozma. With all the slag that could only be there, the professor was probably also a destroy. They disappeared from 30 games, probably met. 2 formations are all you just change the deck, just throw out the armor pours well. That is, there is some kind of twist to the campaign. Although I denied it all the time, no, after all, you think it exists because I think it does not exist. But some doubt say. That's not me too. I think I also think that there is no armor, but it's just either total bad luck or something. But as a rule, if you are against the system, you will never find armor, it will always come last. In my opinion, this is how it works, it's random. Listen, well, this question about the latest changes in general. I don't know, or there's the latest patch, that's how your vision is about this Alioth. This is the unfortunate sand. Changed, yes, what can you say, and, or vice versa, some innovations. Thinks it's cool that they did some, I think the best patch. Was, yes it was when Adam Warlock 4, you probably did first, yes it was. The 4th drop, yes, this is the best patch. And even better patch is when he became 55. This is the best patch of all the patches that could have been. Well, you're being ironic. I understand, yes. It seems to me that the developers do not play at all. In this game, what tests did they do to they analyzed there? I don't understand how the card 55 takes the card he even if he was 58, he wouldn't play. Why do you need one unlucky card on the 6th move, even if you won the location? Well, this is generally nonsense. Just trending patches, sometimes I just posa they will be followed by something more or less nom. Music is he like this, he doesn't go out for to ma. He doesn't go out for the 2nd move, and doesn't let him play if at best he plays even. Well, I think that with an even move it's quite enough if. He will even play but one card, well, on Saw. That's absolutely for sure you said that they made one move because.
он типа 100% сыграл одну карту в
Ну,
оппонента.
вот абсолютно точно ты сказал, техничкой сделали под один
That
ход,
earlier it was
потому
still
что раньше
possible to
все-таки можно
say
было
that there
сказать,
was
что
a
был
type
типа
of
архетип.
archetype.
Ты мог
You could
сыграть
play
там
conditionally through Elector their
Селектор с
Sandman there,
Sandman,
for
да,
example,
например,
or
или
through a
через
wave you could play there
Maxim,
anyway.
так или
Or
иначе.
through
Или через
Corvus
Corvus.
Corvus, yes, too.
Corvus,
Well,
да,
that
тоже.
is,
Ну, то есть
these 3
вот
ramp
эти
cards
рампанки,
are.
они могли
They
его
could have
ранее
exposed
не
him
использовать
earlier.
его.
Now, of course,
Сейчас,
this
конечно,
archetype
вот
is
этого
not there,
архетипа
so
нет,
that
там,
there is a
ну,
Duma
можно
of Odin there
сыграть
from above.
под
Да.
To fuck
вот.
under him,
И
and this is
это
a shame to me because,
ну,
well,
в
in the
игре
game
не
I
сказать,
can't
что
say that there
такая
are so
его
many super yes. He did
Да,
not
он не
dominate.
доминировал,
He
он
didn't
совсем не
dominate at all.
доминировал.
This
И
is
это бред
nonsense.
какой-то,
If an
если
hour,
честно.
One more
Да,
question
да.
to
Еще
you,
один вопрос,
Maxim.
Максим.
Are you planning at all? Here I know you
Планируешь
have
ли вообще?
Twitter,
Я
and he
знаю,
has
у тебя есть
700
Twitter,
plus
и у него там
subscribers there.
600 с лишним
I will display it
подписчиков
on the
я увидел
screen.
экран.
Be sure to
Мгм.
subscribe.
Подпишитесь
On
на
his
его
Twitter
Twitter,
because he
тоже
also
вот
puts
там
out all
ссылку.
sorts of information in
Помимо
addition to the
этого,
Twitter.
тоже есть
Maybe
планы,
you also have some
если
plans
хочешь
that you
развивать
still
его,
want to
пока
develop
еще
or
не
haven't decided on it yet. I've been
Я
thinking
давно
about
уже
it for
думаю
a
об
long
этом,
time.
типа, но
Like, but just
вот
now I
сейчас я вот
understand.
понял,
That
что
as
как
if
бы,
when you take the top one type,
когда
it
делаешь
turns
только
out that it's
единичку,
interesting
оказывается,
to
это
people like this once
людям
for the
типа
second
интересно.
time.
Вот
I got so many
один раз,
subscribers
второй,
on
тут
Twitter
столько
just
подписоты
spontaneously,
набралось в
that is,
Твиттере просто
everyone there
спонтанно, то
supports
есть
these types of
все
this is
там эти
cool.
типа поддерживают, вот это прикольно.
That
То
is,
есть в
in
этом
this
смысле,
sense,
наверное,
it
сейчас есть
probably makes
смысл что-то
sense to
делать.
do
Мне не
something now
нравится,
I don't
например,
like
не
it.
хотелось,
For
например,
example,
быть
I didn't want to be a
стримером
streamer
там
there 40 to the top
40К
and
этот
like
топ
sitting there
и
throwing
типа
some
сидеть
random
там кидать
cards.
какие-то
Well, I'm
рандомные
just
карты.
not
Ну,
interested
мне
in
как-то
watching
особо
it.
интересно
I don't
смотреть,
know.
я не знаю.
It
Как-то
seems like I want some kind of level or something to do.
делать
Maybe
что-то.
I would like to probably
Возможно,
start
я
streaming
бы
after
хотел,
all.
наверное, начать все-таки
But I'm
стримить, но
afraid to
я
burn out. That's what I'm
боюсь
afraid of.
выгореть. Вот
Sometimes
в чем
just the
боюсь.
game gets boring
Иногда
fierce.
просто игра надоедает люто.
And
Я
so,
вот,
like, you
типа, ты
conditionally live on the bed for half
условно
an
я
hour,
лежу на
got
кровати,
tired of
такой
it, and
чих-чих-чих,
put the
потыкал,
phone
потыкал
down,
карточки,
and
да,
that's
там
it.
полчаса
Well,
там,
I
ну,
won't play
надоело, я
anymore
положил
until
телефон, да, и
tomorrow,
все.
but the
И все,
streamer.
до завтра не буду больше играть, да?
It's
Ну,
all the
а
same.
стримерство это
You
же
kind of started
все равно
playing.
ты типа
You kind
начал
of sit
играть,
there
ты
for a
такой
couple
как
of
бы там
hours
сидишь пару
streaming
часов
normally.
по-нормальному
Well,
стримишь,
that's it.
Вот да,
I
я
agree
с тобой
with
согласен,
that.
поэтому
So,
я,
for
например, не
example, I
стримлю,
don't
потому что
stream
это
because it's still, I think
чаще
it's some
вечером,
kind of work
когда
that's
ты
when you sit down.
сидишь, ты
I
должен,
don't
там,
know.
не знаю,
I have
поставить
to put a
камеру
camera
себе,
there. You have to
да.
communicate
транслировать,
somehow,
что тебя тоже
which will
никто не
also distract you a
запрещает,
little
потому что
from the
я есть
gameplay there if you
общаться.
communicate.
Да.
But nevertheless,
Но,
of
тем не
course,
менее,
I personally would
я
like you
чаще
to do
хотел
some
все-таки
such content.
какой-то
I
такой
would love
контент делал,
to.
я бы с удовольствием
I
смотрел,
watched it
потому
because,
что
well, I think you
ну,
did it
не
all the
так
more.
уж
Top
и
players
Мгм.
always like
топовые
people.
игроки
They want to find
всегда
out advice.
людям
Ask
нравятся,
everything they're just like
всем
that,
нравится
for
обсуждать
example, if here.
Да.
там и всё
Ну,
такое.
просто вот, например, если вот
Like in
типа
such a
такой
way as
русский
here's
какой-то
Tricart,
тryhard,
like top one
типа
there.
топ-1
But it's
там, да,
possible to
так
play like
играть,
that.
что,
Maybe there's just
возможно,
time
там
started.
просто времени
They won't
нечетно, оно
stay,
там не
they can't be
остается. Ты не
distracted
можешь все время
there.
там
They
отвлекаться,
sit like you're
сидеть.
still
Типа
calculating
все равно
there.
ты там же просчитываешь ходы, да. Ну вот, а там
40k there to
40К,
throw
там кидаешь
cartons,
картонки,
there
там
you
можно
can
все время
chat all
чат
the time,
посмотреть,
just
там
look there
5
to
минут.
answer
В таком
well,
смысле,
in this
да.
sense.
Это, наверное,
Yes,
больше
it's
шоу.
probably more of a show, and the
А
format probably started streaming
формат, наверное,
C.
если бы я начал
Then it
стримить, то,
probably would
наверное, это
still be
был бы
more
все
of
равно
some
больше
kind of
какой-то такой
tricart because
трайхардер. Потому что я
I
не
don't like to lose
люблю
straight. I
проигрывать
really
прям
don't
вообще,
like
не
it
знаю.
well. In
Я
general,
быстрее
who are you
скучаю.
watching? I don't know,
Да,
maybe some streamers you watch
по
reviewers
Розу
of some
смотрю
kind. There I often
часто,
watch a
кстати.
Rose by the way.
Да,
Да.
ну, кстати,
I
тоже
also
по
think
Розу
that Lara
тоже
is
играл,
always in the top
да,
there.
с Розу.
Well,
Ну да.
Igcone
Ну,
still P
иногда, конечно,
business that
такие
I of
паузы
course
резкие,
just want to
потому что
close my eyes
просто
not
глаза
to
хочется
see it
закрыть
in
и
general.
поненавидеть.
T plays well.
Ну,
But here I
но в
like
целом,
him
типа,
cleanly.
ну, играет хорошо, да. Вот он мне нравится. Дэра, чисто ради
For the sake
фана,
of the fan.
посмотреть,
Look at the joke he's
по приколу
playing
он
there,
там
when
играет,
because
да.
there's a
Сейчас
calibrated
топ-4.
one this month, they've
Да,
already
прошлый
fixed
сезон
something
начал
there.
с топ-1, наверное. Ну, это как, когда, потому что там калибровало как-то по-поломанному. В этом месяце они уже что-то там починили
A little
немножко.
bit,
Ведь иногда,
because sometimes,
ведь
because in the leaderboard
лидерборд
sometimes, yes,
иногда, да,
I'm
вот
already
я уже
9800,
9800,
for example,
например,
and a
и
beginner
туда
flies there at
9800
9,600 who took in 4 the first time at all conditionally. And so he starts, for example, trample my shit. How does the system work? Damn it. Why did I start from scratch, in fact? And went, and he immediately, and there, and they have the same points. Twice as much is given due to the fact that he is a beginner, that is, instead of 30 points, for example. Yes, there is he gets 50, well, like such a system there was a precedent there, by the way. There was a dude there with his nickname Oh damn, I can't remember already, probably by the way, he played on Europe. I couldn't meet him for a long time. The guys said he was a beginner, like he flew into there for a couple of hours, well, then he was thrown out in short. Because he didn't know how to play there. He jumped like that on these swings, and then flew off to the top at all. I recently saw him there in the top 500. He probably was this season. Well, that is. The system was a little bit leaderboard in general before a little bit more even broken. And I really didn't like it, like something like you're like going to a top OD, like do I need it at all like this top, oh yeah. If there's such a broken system, there you don't understand how this thinks, how it calibrates you. If I damn one season, I'm done. Top 6 and I started top 50 the next month, or top 60, probably that's when I fucked up at all. What kind of system are the guys who were with you, how much they take off, that's when you fuck up. I have 1.700Y. It resets me, I finished 1010 well, this month I finished 10,370. I was already reset normally. By the way, I was reset to 8,900, this is how much it turns out, 10,000 yes, well, it's straight. A lot of something this is normal, this is normal for me SB's 1700, but you understand this month. Everyone is so good with respect to.
Но это, понимаешь, в этом месяце у всех сбросило так, хорошо.
Me because Topco 8900 it was top. Oh, that's when I calibrated here in this regard. I like it because I used to finish.
Это был топ-1. Вот. Когда я откалибровался. Вот в этом плане мне нравится. Потому что раньше
Top she is the one who was top P, we had a gap of 10, she started in the top 3, and I started in the top 60 well. How can this be how the system works in general according to calibration type? Well, like it was abnormal before this month I I like how this system works closer and closer to this you have now, as the race continues. I understand with who you have there, this one, and he. It's just that, yes, they play on America, so I can't play with them. I play on Europe, and that's what I don't like either. Why is it really so difficult? Music the server is about some reason why this division is so apparently the mechanics of this game are arranged as a whole. I don't even know what. Somehow they want to do something global, this matchmaking, so that he looks like this. Well, this is only in the project. Well, I read something there about this one, something that they are on some Amazon servers with the help of some kind of this on what. Then this system they are sitting there, here is the selection of players, this is it that divides these players by servers. This is what I don't like. How can you judge the level of a player from America and the level of a player from Europe? I believe that America is there. With my eyes closed and yes, I believe that this is how Europe goes, then America, and then Asia. On Asia there in general. There you can even in and Pam. Click start the game, and the video is playing well, and there's a gap between the first player on their server. And the second one there may be 600 probably. Well, that is, there's something in general. They don't play for me, that is, there is no level there at all. That's where America is. Thank you for answering so many questions. We have a lot of interviewees. First of all, we will have it for a long time, and secondly, I am directly surprised at how we have it all on such a light. Everything went well, after all, a well-known player, yes, but nevertheless, there is no ch in you there, yes, or here are crowns. That I'm there, top everything, bow down there in front of me, I'm an ordinary village guy. Of course I wish you for myself. That the next season is now more cubes and less Strikovskaya. Well, in fact, it's not even just that, but that the game brings a buzz and does not turn into some kind of routine. When you just go in because you need to and not because you just want to play there, that's something to sleep, well, that's it. If you have any ideas there of your own additional social networks that you want to conduct, be sure to write to me too, I will post it. So thank you so much for agreeing to participate in this interview. I think it will be very much. It's interesting to look at you and listen to how you competently talked about the snap quite interestingly. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was also very pleased that you called me back.
Мне тоже было очень приятно, что ты меня позвал.
Listen, and guys, if you suddenly have any questions left, well, you can write and then I will redirect them there in addition. Suddenly answer them. Thank you to everyone, and bye-bye to everyone.
Всем спасибо и всем пока-пока.